beacon.
The beacons are lit.
The beacon has been lit. The beacon that said no one should come and look at this.
Right, that's right. So it exists. Okay, good. It exists. It is,
Okay,
however,
so
still
the thing we wanted people not to perceive
correct is now
is in existence right now.
Right, it is perceivable. It is, however, unlisted. So I'm going to fix that.
Right, you might have to do that on the flysies.
Correct. I don't actually know where that thing. There it is. Visible public.
So now the beacons have been lit. The second beacon,
right? The beacon that has like the first beacon
been lit,
but wasn't. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I'm getting
to everyone either coming in or who is watching this later, like, what is going on? Hello, my name is Matt. I'm the showrunner, narrator of Extra Credits, pronouns he, him, and we are doing a test that, due to the title, you really shouldn't be here.
Right, yeah, right, okay, so, yeah, excellent. I see Janet is in attendance. Hello, YouTube comments. And I love this. They're already in uniform. It's no, nuh-uh, definitely not.
No.
Love this. I absolutely love here. I'm gonna pull some of these up. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, Matt, in the thingy.
Yep, I'm gonna activate selected.
Yeah,
yep.
Select live sources.
And that way I'll be able to see the Janet chat.
That's correct.
The YouTube chat.
Correct.
There we go.
Yeah, right. And so and so I can say that, like, this shows up on screen, right? QB says nobody ignored this.
Nobody ignored this.
Correct.
So, hi YouTube. This is an experiment that we are doing.
That's correct.
Again, expect nothing good right now, because this is Will and I running a stress test for hopeful good things later. I introduced myself. Will, who is you?
Hi, I'm Will. Pronouns he, him. I am the hold on. I dress for the occasion. Wait, hold on. I'm the Twitch guy. Hey, I'm the live streaming guy. I do all of our.
Hey, he's that guy. He does
I'm
the
that
live
guy.
streams.
I'm that guy in the place with the face, right? I do all of our live streaming stuff. If you've watched any of our Let's Plays, you won't see my face, but you will see my work, because I'm the one behind the scenes managing all of that stuff, and I'm generally the camera.
Right.
I co-host both our Breakfast podcast and our Design Club podcast with Matt and Jeff, respectively. Yeah. Is this an Easter egg? These are all very good questions.
Well, actually, I have another one once that one's up. This is technically not an Easter egg.
It's early for Easter. It's more of like a March thing.
I want to talk about magical crazies here. This is going to kill your algorithm. Well, this is a weird little test. So, okay, let's a little bit of story time. So back a while ago, we tried doing putting some of the talk shows we do on Twitch, put up the VODs on YouTube. And back then, you darn tootin', it did some negative stuff to the algorithm, no question. The interesting thing now is why we wanted to try this now. And again, this isn't a real show. This is a fake show to test to see if the real shows work.
Right.
Now YouTube cordons it off. Like, there is a section for live streams. It doesn't put all of these things in. So one of the other tests that we're going to run today is when this is done in like 10 or 15 or 20 minutes or whatever it is, we are going to, once it's done and it's treated as a VOD, we're going to look at our page, see where it places it, see how it organizes it, etc. Right. Because this is much different content than what's usually on the channel.
Right. And we're totally aware of that, right? But this is... Would we really be EC if we weren't failing faster and trying random wacky stuff like doing this?
Yeah.
So... Yeah, this is sort of all a grand experiment, right? Because, like, this is not, yeah, Social Psych's got it. Not a real show, just a tribute. Like, Matt and I have been doing this show for, oh God, ready to turn to dust? Like, 5 years.
Right.
And, like, north of 200 episodes. And so we thought that this might be, with the changes to the algorithm, this might be a good way to bring it to more of you. And in a way that doesn't suffer from the same, like, this isn't an animated video problem that the ones before did, right? Because when someone clicks on a live stream, I don't think they expect us to be live animated versions of ourselves.
We're working on it. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying. It's funny. I'm trying to keep up with everything here.
There's a lot. Yeah.
So far, let's walk through kind of what we're doing. So we are simul streaming on Twitch and YouTube right now. That's part of the test. We're testing out Will's rig. We're also testing out some of the tools that Will has put into place here so we can look at both chats at the same time and pull, comments from folks about pertinent stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, excuse me, where's VTuber Matt? I'm looking for him.
Great question.
He is currently at large.
Yeah, correct. He's out in the world.
We don't know his exact location, but I'll let you know as soon as I find him.
Fun fact, VTuber Matt is actually the snail to Matt's immortality, right? Like, Matt has to keep moving away from the snail because if they ever touch, they'll mutually annihilate, right? It's like that. Only, unfortunately, VTuber Matt is flat, so we're going to roll him up and put him in a poster tube and then just mail that poster tube to a random fan, and then it won't be a problem anymore. Right. We think that's really the best solution.
It's the path of least resistance, really.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Someone says, can we get a stream called EC Tangents where you guys just go off on tangents together? That's this stream. Welcome.
It's not the title of this stream. Again, the title was test stream, please ignore. But if you want the subtitle or the pull quote on the back of the box of this stream when you buy it at a brick and mortar store, it would be something akin to this.
Yeah, absolutely. So we also want to open the floor to...
wait, someone found this.
What?
The RE1 dialogue in the description.
I don't know what you're talking about. Look, if you can't read the title, why should we believe that you can read the description?
I am just thankful someone saw it.
Yeah. So, okay. So in fairness to Ben, Ben says it's a clickbait title. Actually, genuinely not. Like, so there's sort of a balance here, right? We knew that there were going to be people here. We also actually need to test things, right?
Yeah.
So, like, behind the scenes, there's a bunch of metrics going on, right? I am currently, for all of you streaming nerds, I am double encoding the stream myself. We're not using a third-party thing like Restream. I have an add-on in my streaming software, OBS, that is encoding this twice and sending identical copies to Twitch and to YouTube. And we'd never done that before. So I genuinely need to test that, right? And I could test that even if nobody shows up. We also wanted to see how this new Twitch or this new chat add-on that we have works. And so there are a bunch of things that we're legitimately testing here. Your presence is lovely, though not strictly speaking necessary. So yeah. But why would we not show up? Great question.
Yeah. Also, thank you very much, Bizarre Phantasm. We appreciate you ignoring the instruction and being here, and thank you very much. It's very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea behind this test, and I'm actually quite proud right now, Will, of what you've done. Like, so right now, case in point, Will and I can both find chat messages and highlight them separately. I want to break, Will, I'm going to break the fourth wall here for a moment. We're not in the same place. We're not near each other at all.
We're about a 9-hour drive apart. We're significantly far apart.
So we can't like, high five. Well, we kind of, that almost worked. So like, what we wanted to make sure was that we both could take highlighted messages, for pertinent topics whenever we're doing something like this. And we've proven that we can. We both can work on the same, instance of the merged chat, which is something that up until an hour and a half ago, we didn't know if we could do.
Correct. There have been some technical struggles. I'm telling Matt this for the first time. I legitimately had nightmares about this last night. I legitimately woke up this morning and realized that something was broken and that I was going to need to fix it before we could do this. And that's how my morning started. So to see all of this going this well is really excellent.
Again with the secrets.
Why are you spoiling our secrets? Also, it is cool that it shows that Thunder's a mod on YouTube. That's nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. By the way, if you're in YouTube chat, you may notice that there are already mods there. Those mods are also our Twitch mods.
Right.
They've been with us for, oh God, I think Thunder's the most recent of them, and Thunder joined 3 years ago. It's been a hot bit. So,
Also, just some housekeeping, I guess, since people are here in the Not Come Here stream. You'll hear us refer to Brad, Janet, and Rocky if you are not familiar with that. Those were our names when we did the talk show. Since we've been doing the talk shows on Twitch, Brad is Twitch chat, Janet was YouTube comments, now YouTube chat, and Rocky is Nebula.
Because Rocky doesn't talk much.
Because Rocky doesn't talk. So if you hear that, that's what that is.
Yeah. So
what else do we need to run through here, Will? Let's see.
Well, we kind of do need to test this. So chat, we're gonna real quick, we're gonna test a recording.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so
yeah.
Again, peek behind the curtain. What we've done, especially for like the Nebula uploads, we normally do a pre-show for our. Oh, let's back up. Let's even back up further. The idea that we want to do here is we're not moving every stream that we do on Twitch over to YouTube. That doesn't make sense. We still want to only move over things that basically we consider like a produced show.
Right.
Right now, those are the two you might have seen before when we tried this experiment before the tools and the setup and the page was honestly appropriate for the algorithm to not do weird things. Mm-hmm. And that is Games for Breakfast, where me and Will sit in an animated kitchenette on Monday mornings and talk about the week's gaming and tech news. We've been doing that show for over 5 years now. Yeah. And it's really nice because, you know, all of our stuff takes a long time to make. The animated stuff, this is stuff that lets us sort of stay more on top of what is currently going on in gaming and the video game space. So that's one of my favorite things to start my week with. And then Will and our studio director Jeff do a show called Design Club, where they sit in our animated coffee shop here and deep dive for about an hour and a half into specific game design principles, theories, things that are going on in sort of that space.
Industry stuff too.
Like, industry stuff. Jeff is a game designer with 20 plus years experience who is an absolute beast in the space and has tons of just where I bring chaos to a breakfast kitchenette.
Right.
I will say that Jeff brings gravitas and knowledge to design perspective and things like that. And Will tries to rein us both in.
Yeah.
So just wrapping that up, those are the two shows that we're going to try co-streaming here. There is still other stuff on Twitch if you wanted actual play or not like actual plays or playthroughs or stuff like that. Actually, right after this, once we stop the co-stream, we're going to be doing my Thursday block with Will, and we're just going to be running some Shadow of the Erd Tree because I need to beat that thing before Night Rain comes out.
Correct.
But those are the kind of things that will be on Twitch if you ever wanted them, but those will not be coming to YouTube. Only shows that have like an episode doc and like what we're doing and produced elements and things like that will be coming to YouTube.
Yeah, for instance, we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We get to talk about the GDC awards on Monday. Yep. There were a bunch of awards that got won by a bunch of really deserving folks. And then on Thursday, we're going to be, Jeff and I are going to be diving into a really crunchy topic for the industry, which is, are conventions still worth it for the gaming industry? Like E3 is dead, y'all. Like it is dead and buried. Like, is that concept still worth it? So we're going to be diving into that, and I'm going to be interviewing Jeff about his time at GDC and what he got out of the experience as someone in the industry, because that's a cool thing we can do that will never really that just doesn't compress into like an animated.
And he's there
thing.
Right now, so we're going to find out. Bete Tist here asked a question. Serious question. Y'all doing alerts for subs and whatnot? Are you talking about will this alert subs when it goes live, or are you talking about something that I'm not following?
So to answer the question of will you doing things to support the stream make weird, goofy stuff appear on stream?
Oh,
no.
That's the question.
That's a sub alert. There will be some minimal stuff. For instance, Brad, can I get a lurk alert from someone just to like demonstrate? And then, so there will be like some minimal stuff in the background to like, thank you, but that's not really the focus of it. Okay. All right. Y'all broke it. Okay.
But that's happening.
Thanks,
so right now,
thanks,
just
Brad.
again, as this is a test, I'm seeing that in Twitch chat, not anywhere on our.
Correct. That's because it's not important to that thing.
So then what would be the alert that they would see?
Normally, it's broken on this scene. Great, thanks for Twitch chat. Normally there's a little guy that like leans in and out of.
Okay,
of
we found our first bug.
Bug. I'm adding it to the list
in a document of some kind.
Yeah.
Where did I put my documents?
So we're gonna they will be minimal. They'll be unobtrusive. We're not gonna take time to call out subs or super chats or memberships or any of that. During the show, right? We will thank people like beforehand.
But here's what we will do.
Pre-show.
Actually, here's a question, Will. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
So this is where I was going before I went to the tangent about what shows were coming over here.
Yeah.
For both of those shows, and this will play back into the original question, for both of those shows, we do what is essentially a pre-show. Where we just come on, kind of shoot the ish for a second, and kind of warm up before we start the show. And actually, we're going to run a test of one of the show opens in a second to make sure that doesn't crash everything, because Will has it set up on his end to have it start a local record of what we're doing from the start of a show's intro graphic, and then when the show's outro graphic, it cuts it and stops. So one thing where what we do on Twitch is, especially for like free subs and I guess here for like memberships or whatever YouTube sort of calls them, super chats, etc. If we do the pre-show on YouTube, which I think we should, and then we just take the trim down one
and save it as the VOD.
Save it as the VOD. All of those things will be called out in the beginnings of the shows, in the pre-shows, basically. So, like, for instance, if you're coming to hang out and show support and whatever, all support is greatly appreciated, but we'll do like the call outs in that first 10 minutes. Like everything that happens in that first 10 minutes will be the thing, and we'll talk through people and thank people and welcome them on in.
Because we don't want to have the possibility of being like on a really serious topic like unionization in the games industry, because that's a thing that like both of those shows have talked about, right? Or like a topic about like layoffs or the next console or something hype, right? Like us, yapping about Monster Hunter Wilds or Night Rain or whatever, and have that get derailed by feeling like we immediately need to thank someone. Because as exhibited with the tangent thing earlier, if you put pennies on Matt and Maya's train of thought at the same time, not only do they spectacularly derail, but they sort of both jump the tracks and then collide mid-air and explode. Right. So we don't really want to have notifications doing that. Though we do support it. We do. EC's cheating on Twitch? No.
Yeah. Also, we should. We absolutely should know better. And yeah.
Almost like
here we are.
We do know better.
Or do we?
We might.
I don't know.
I've met better.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Anyway, so we're gonna run a test of the recording. So for those of you who have never seen it before, this is going to be, I'm not going to go to black because that's going to confuse everyone. This is going to be a test of the recording for breakfast. So you'll get to see the breakfast intro for the first time, and hopefully this doesn't crash everything.
If it does, we will be back right after this to keep testing. Yeah, it just might kick out. And listen, if you're here for it, great. If not, then the instructions still worked and everyone wins both ways.
Right, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Pressing the button in 3, 2, 1. Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
I know what I did wrong. Haha. This is a test. It failed successfully. Great. I have to be in this thing. No. Shut up.
It's great.
Okay.
And then we'd say good morning.
And then, good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Will.
Good morning to all of you.
Welcome to Games for Breakfast, the internet talk show. We talk about this week's gaming and tech news, but also tell you not to come to a place and you show up anyway.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay. So is it now recording on your system?
Yes, it is now successfully recording, and I freed up room. And so far, by the way,
yeah, everything seems to be running somewhat smoothly.
It's really weird because I'm triple encoding now, and it's like I'm only at 37% of GPU power, which is really great because it means I've got lots of headroom for unexpected things to happen. So that's really
unexpected things to happen.
An unexpected thing.
I just took away 16% of Will's bandwidth with that.
Yeah, right. So while we're doing this, because we're gonna let the recording run for a bit just to make sure, because I'm gonna analyze that recording afterwards. do you have questions, right? Because this is a great time while we're just doing stuff. If you have questions,
we're stress testing, so
yeah, we're stress
that
testing.
means we have to chat for like 5 or 10 minutes and see how it goes.
Bete asks, "What's the rig?" The rig in this case is how I refer to I have a 2 PC streaming setup. I have a relatively new, built over the winter break. When we go on that winter break thing, we also go on a Twitch break, so I get 2 weeks where I don't have to stream. So I rebuilt an entirely new computer and put it together in that 2 weeks when I was supposed to be relaxing. I don't have problems. It's fine. And it is a GTX 4090 Ryzen 9950 X sort of behemoth of a thing. And so it is what's handling all of the stream stuff. When I do gameplay streams, I have a separate computer that I feed into this computer to keep the stream crispy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Let's see what else what's Nathan, what's your favorite Mario game? Canon Mario, Super Mario World. I guess off canon, I don't know if this even matters, but I've been on a real Dr. Mario like mental bender lately. And the music has been stuck in my head a lot. So those are my 2. Will, do you have any?
I will confess, I have a confession to make. Not much of a Mario kid. I guess it would.
But if you had to, fire flower to your head.
64.
Okay,
it's
there
64.
we go.
But that's also because if you do it right, Nintendo kids, the main menu music for Mario 64 is now playing in your head. Congratulations, your blood pressure probably just dropped.
Or yeah.
Like
I thought you were gonna say high and you went low.
Yeah. Like that is like such deep nostalgia childhood feels, right?
I think I know the answer for both of Will and I here. Do we want to say it at the same time?
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1.
Babylon
Cowboy
5.
Bebop. Oh, yeah. See, yeah, we didn't quite. No. Out of these two, it's funny. Will, I was this close to saying Babylon 5, but I wanted us to be different.
Right. No.
I would personally go Star Trek.
I think I'm more on Trek than Wars. Caveat: Mandalorian is the best thing they've put out for the Wars since.
Andor is for me.
Yeah, I'm not super invested in Andor. I respect it as a great show. It's not for me. Versus like Mandalorian's sort of like. I have gone on so many rants with Twitch chat about how the worst part about Star Wars is Jedi, and how if you remove Jedi from Star Wars, the world of Star Wars gets a chance to breathe and do weird stuff that's not about Jedi.
I don't want them removed. I want them to be mythical again.
Right. No. That's fine. I mean, like, if they're not the focus of the story, right? If it's Mando, right? And kind of Grogu kind of is, right? But like, if it's about Din Djarin's journey with the Darksaber and like the quest to reunite the Mandalorians, that gets a whole lot more interesting when the Jedi aren't directly involved solving all the problems. So.
Yeah. Interesting, Will.
Yes.
So we just had a bit of a bitrate drop on my end. I don't know if anyone else saw that. I see Ramian mentions boop, 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 boop. Minor issue on the side stream. Closed captioning is not available here like it is for Brad. So that means there isn't on YouTube. Is there a way we can turn that on?
I will look into it. It is
on
my
the
list of things.
That's a great note.
Captions for YouTube. I need to see if I can tie in the closed caption software that I use, or if I need to use a different solution.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Other questions.
I got another video game one.
Sure.
Traditional Zelda, more dungeon-oriented versus Breath of the Wild, open world. Which is better? I will put a caveat at the end of your question, Zach3, and I will say better for us. Because I don't know if intrinsically I can say that one is officially better. I think dungeon oriented for me. Not that I didn't love Breath and Tears, but I think I got most excited in Breath and Tears when like I was in the open world and then I got put into a like I love the wow, I'm blanking, it's been a minute, but the sites where you get the stuff to level up all your things, those little like shards in the ground, the shrines or whatever. Like I don't know, I like Zelda design and puzzle solving in that way. What about you, Will?
I think I'm sort of middle of the road. And I'm gonna say there's a very specific middle of the road exception, and it's Mask. Majora's Mask feels like it's got a lot of overworld stuff and has the same
it's different kinds of boxes.
Right, it's a different kind of box, but the focus on questing specifically and all of the side quests to get all of the masks in Majora's Mask feels like the sort of predecessor that I want to the Breath of the Wild quest system, at least to me, far more than anything like in Wind Waker did. But also, where do you put Wind Waker in that spectrum? Because like, if it's not Mask, it's Wind Waker for me.
Wind Waker is wonderful. Yeah. They're all kind of wonderful. This is a hard question because every time I'm like, oh, we'll accept this, and this.
Yeah. I'm of the opinion that Wind Waker is the answer. The open ocean serves to emphasize the structure of the detailed design spaces. Yeah, absolutely, Richard. That yes, 100%. Also, by the way, a small thing that I did just notice. Now that we're putting people's like the little profile pics, Brad, get your profile pics together. YouTube's got their profile pic game on.
YouTube's got their profile pics on lock. Let's find comments based on profile pic.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
Zatch's. Well, let's see if I can find. What's Bete was talking to all the Bobs. Yeah. I saw that earlier. Yeah, right, that's a cool profile pic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Twitch chat's like either yup or I refuse.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. So let's see what else. The recording's going great. We haven't had any.
Is anything spiking down? Is anything doing poor things?
No, and YouTube Janet is saying that they are pretty impressed with the connection. I'm actually I'm genuinely surprised that it's this stable. This is kind of weird. I feel like, and I really want to focus on this just for a quick second. I feel like we want to make it clear, just because Twitch chat's been here longer, we're going to try and treat these as equal. So like if there are tech problems that are caused on one side or the other, we're going to pause and fix them for both, right? We're not going to be like, oh, well, the recording's fine and YouTube or Twitch can't see, right? Like we want to make sure that like everybody is part of the conversation. Everybody is getting the show wherever you want to get it. Because I know that like some people like the YouTube player better.
Yeah.
Even if they normally hang out and talk in Twitch chat, right?
Well, like here's the thing. And I think Will and I were in agreement with this when we were talking about doing this experiment and trying this out. Like we wanted to make sure that we only did this when a few things were met. Again, the changing of how it organizes these things and what they are shown on YouTube, of course, but that also we could in one easy place see a mixed chat so we'd make sure that we're not like focusing in on Twitch or YouTube. And so far, the solutions that Will has found is working quite nicely. It's obviously because it's double the chat, it's going a little faster than we're used to, but I think
eventually you're just gonna see us doing that reflex test that you sometimes see at carnivals with all of the dropping tubes that you have to catch while standing in the thing, except it's comments. Right, so you have to like just stand there and focus and like catch all the comments real quick. It's that, right? Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you please pull up Green Rain's comment? All right, go ahead.
Have you looked into Lancer TV? One of my favorite. I got to play it about piloting mechs. It's so much fun. Oh, wait, hold on. It's behind my green screen.
All right, go get it. You've made Matt's day. Oh God, Matt, you've ruined the immersion. Also, you can see the play button for the channel back there.
Yup.
Yeah, Matt's huge into Lancer.
I love this game.
I'm actually huge into everything that Abaddon, the creator of Lancer and Icon, has done. I am a unabashed fan of Kill 6 Billion Demons. Caveat, every time I mention Kill 6 Billion Demons, it is so much higher than the rating on this channel, because the rating on this channel is like PG, like barely. Yeah. Kill 6 Billion Demons is like NC-17 levels of like gore and trauma and content warnings and everything. So
if you're into TTRPGs, please join Green Rain and myself. This is a phenomenal game. It has a great digital component if you want it, called CompCon, that's basically like what if D&D Beyond, but also had functional combat and was skinned like you're a mech pilot. The Tyler and Chris and Miles over at Dwarven Forge introduced me to this game, and I am in absolute awe of it. I love it so much.
Yep. Okay, we had another question.
I did see a Zoe mention if she comes in. She was being so mouthy before we started. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. I can try to find her.
What system does Lancer use? Lancer uses a D20 based system, but it's not like D20 modern.
No, it's there are 20s in.
There are 20-sided dice, but it's not D20.
And you also are getting, I'm trying to remember the verbiage of it. It's blanking on it right now, but there's a bunch of, like, you do modifications with D6s and a couple other things. Like, you get advantage and disadvantage works differently. It's very fun. And it's broken. The thing I really like about it is it's broken between tactical, like actual just like mech combat based on mission parameters. Like, your mission starts and it could just be like rescue 6 convoy ships, and then no matter what, if you do that or you don't, that ends and different things happen. Then you go into what is considered downtime, and that's when a lot of your RP happens, and the game switches in a bit of a way. It's
it
very,
feels
very
like
nice.
It's got a lot of the same bones as Blades in the Dark in that way, where you've got like 2 very distinct outlined phases of the game, right? There is one where stuff gets smashed and people die, and one where you deal with the fact that stuff got smashed and people died.
Yeah.
And those are 2 like,
yeah. Anywho.
Any
Thank you for letting me break that fourth wall.
Well, I mean, it's another really great example, right? That is another thing that we want this space to do, which is a lot of the time, and this happens on Twitch a lot, to this day. I've been on Twitch since 2018 as the Extra Credits channel, okay? To this day, I still have, wait, you have a Twitch channel? Are you the narrator? Where's Zoe for me, right?
Yeah,
because even though I've shown up in some of the animated stuff as like a guest at the Mythology Campfire or in shorts,
yeah, you
as,
wrote, you wrote 2 or 3 episodes of EC,
right? I've written for EC. Like, even though those things are true, people don't know us, right? We're sort of almost anonymized behind the animation. So like, this is another really great way to talk to you all about stuff, right? During breakfast, during Design Club, right? To have these conversations and to, what's your favorite RPG? What do you like? What are you thinking about this upcoming thing, or like whatever?
Is the ceiling another wall that can be broken? I'll try. Like, yeah, there. Anyway, no, it's actually really nice because it's funny. I am one of the things I'm most excited about, because we've been looking. We used to use something called featured.chat on Twitch, which let us do the things like pull up your comments and show them on screen. And that has broken it broke, or the people stopped supporting it. And every time we go live, Will can attest to this, I always go to their website to see if it's back before we start, because I miss the level of interaction that we're able to do with this sort of unified tool of merging the chats. So I don't know.
We should probably address a question that we kind of thought we might get, which is from Warrior Dude. Why no Extra Credits episodes in a while?
Why no Extra Credits in a while? So I will answer that question with a long-winded answer. I don't know how many of you here are Extra History fans as well, but we noticed something across the YouTube algorithm, and that is that, to be perfectly honest, 6 to 8 minute long stuff across the board, it does not catch in the algorithm as well as it used to. And we only have so much time to do animation. We only have so much time to do any show that we do. And so what we did on the history side of things was sort of a twofold approach. One, sorry, I got distracted by a dog. One, you never know what they're doing on the carpet. One was engage in more shorts. I don't know if you've seen our shorts content over there, because the algorithm, that's a different algorithm and can lead people into the longs. And 2, we adjusted our release cadence over there to make our episodes basically 1.5 times longer, and still not like give people enough time on our team to actually make those episodes. So it's the same amount of content released every other week, but the episodes themselves are longer. Also, we've been doing our Extra History Completes, which are redos, like sort of like going back and correcting things from Rob's Lies episodes and redoing like a series of 5 videos that makes a 50-minute video. And that is because YouTube has been well and truly really pushing either shorts or long form and not a lot in between. And so what we've been doing in the background while doing, I think every other week we do a short on credits. What we've been doing in the background is sort of developing they're all in early stages, but sort of developing what the next EC show is going to be, that we can both make the shows that we want to make, but also probably, to be perfectly honest, make them a bit longer so we can actually kind of catch that algorithm again. I had a list. Let me pull that up real quick of sort of like the things in the hopper.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna keep checking in on chat here.
Yeah, so we have two different long form episodes coming out, which we're not coming out there. They will be coming soon, and the goal is to make something that's closer to, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes that are sort of a bit more expose-y or
Deep
like
divey?
Go deeper into a topic. And how we have to do that is, honestly, we've been experimenting with, and we found a good balance, but nothing we're quite exactly proud of yet, doing a sort of combination of animation, game footage, and IRL. So there's two things. One, James is working on one, and Eddie Webb, another one of our writers, is working on another. And those, hopefully, we don't know what the release cadence of those will be because we're still basically figuring out the workflow. But that's been in the hopper for a minute. We're also working on with some comedy writer friends of mine that actually I was introduced to through Ben Doyle from Jetlag. We're trying to do what might be essentially like a narrative topical video game, like leaning more on a comedy bent that is also a modification of animation and IRL stuff. That's going pretty well. There was one other thing I'm trying to dig through where I had my
Jeff and I have.
Oh yes, yeah. You pitched that one because Jeff and Will have been working on another, I would say, like longer but mid-form length thing, like 30-minute type thing.
Yeah, so this one's animation and gameplay footage, but we're thinking about doing like a genre exploration / primer. And the sort of, as an example, the first one we're pitching is the idea of MOBAs, because MOBAs are sort of opaque as a genre. So we want to, like, through like a designer lens, through an enthusiast lens, pull that apart and talk a little bit about everything that makes up what we expect of when we think of a MOBA. So looking at like all of them, right? Not just League, but like Dota and Deadlock and Smite and Heroes of the Storm, and like pulling apart the genre and looking at all the pieces that make it tick.
Yeah.
And so
and I'm excited about that too, because it opens up, like, that's something we've seen a lot of success in a lot of places. Like, for instance, this goes back a little bit, but like, I want to find like the buckets of types of shows that we're excited to make.
Yeah.
So for instance, I was really, truly down on shorts for a long time, a couple years ago. And shout out to our social media director, Kat, who knew the winds were changing and like pushed us in that direction. And it felt very smart to do that. And they didn't really start hitting for me on the extra history side until we really started doing like worst dads, worst moms, best days, best pranks, like basically finding things that were buckets, like where you could be like, here's a bunch of things in a wheelhouse that I'm interested in and very clearly labeled. Something I'm excited about Will and Jeff's idea for this sort of like deep dive primer into genre, like getting started with the genre and looking into its mechanics, is we can do that like over and over and over again. Like the first one is on MOBAs and you go deep, but then even as times change, as more things are released, we could do codas to it, move on, like add to it.
And we get to do stuff that we're all excited about, right? Like I know Jeff is big into 4Xs and Matt really likes fighting games, and I've got a thing for card games, and like there's a lot of space where we get to talk about games that we're passionate and also bring that sort of informative and entertaining content, right? Because if it's not informative and entertaining, why are we doing it, right? So like cutting that line is very important.
Correct. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. We are cooking in the background. It's going to take us a while. Again, we are a small team, and we just did a history overhaul, and now we're kind of switching back into sort of like what we want to do on the credit side of things. I brought this up on breakfast. We are doing, on one of the long form ones, I've already started getting various props and things that are actually like historical artifacts for the topics that we are talking about brought here. So like it's going, there's stuff cooking. in the meantime, we're just releasing shorts to sort of keep stuff going on the channel. And now swinging full circle back to what we're doing here today, bringing something that we are already doing and enjoying and loving and interacting with over on Twitch over here as well, both in the interim and sort of in preparation of when we come back with more shows released on credits.
Yeah. Cool.
Sorry.
Yes.
Big just switched over to Twitch chat.
Right. And we, by the way, we expect that, right? We expect that people are going to move wherever they want. Also, there is this other thing. YouTube folks may not be aware of this. One of the other reasons that we're doing this now is that Twitch, in their infinite Twitch wisdom,
this is the other thing. Yes.
Decided out of nowhere to give us all 2 months notice to get all of our VODs, all of the backed up highlights for those 5 years of shows, get them all off the platform. They said you get 100 hours of highlights maximum, regardless of how long your account has existed. That's it. More than that, get them out of here. And we went, okay. So I spent the next 2 weeks pulling 3,500 hours of highlights off of Twitch. And now we want a place where people can watch the VODs of these shows for free, right? They're always going to be available on Nebula without ads the day after, but YouTube's a good place where you can go and watch them for free. And this way they'll be up on YouTube the same time that they're up on Twitch. And they'll be there permanently. So that's a good place for that as well. That's another added benefit. And I know Twitch chat's been asking for that for a while, because having if you've never been in the Twitch VOD system, it's god awful. I was trying to make it as good as I could, and it was still not great. So the video viewing experience has always been better on YouTube, and so we're leveraging that too.
Yeah. Also, I just
yeah, right, exactly.
Correct.
Right. Can't read, Cool. Was there anything else? Yeah. By the way, if you're rolling into YouTube chat or Twitch chat, either one, but Twitch chat's had this info for a little bit because we wanted to let them know that something weird was going to be happening next week. Do you have questions? Is there anything that you want to know while we're here testing this? I've got about 25 minutes of the recording in the can, so
let's go for an even 30 or 35, and then we can sort of call it here, because I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to test while we're doing questions.
Yeah. Must not ignore due to title. Yes, correct. 100%.
Understanding the assignment.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's see.
This is also another. Nope, not that one. Another nice thing. Jacob says YouTube can sometimes perform better on slower connections. True.
Oh, interesting.
True. Because YouTube, because it's designed to be a video viewing site, is better at caching stuff for a longer video versus Twitch, where if you're not current on the Twitch connection, it sort of just like flips out and has no idea what to do with itself. So that is a thing to keep in mind too.
Here's a good one. Why are you so green? Because this is technically the Design Club settings.
Yeah, this is.
And Jeff's green screen is different than my green screen, so we kind of kit bashed my green screen key very quickly before we started.
It's my fault. Okay.
It's no one's fault. It's just that it's funny because we were talking about, like, think people will notice? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Well, they noticed.
So I've spent a long time dialing in green screen settings for both of them. And
but we can't easily move them over based on the setups.
Yeah. For OBS nerds, I have different scene collections, and moving things between scene collections is a giant pain.
Yeah. A great question from Endoride. How much caffeine is enough? I don't know. I can't. What?
Okay, cool.
It's a great vintage. It's a great chroma key Baja Blast vintage.
You'll find that we do quite a few chroma key jokes here. Mountain Void, exactly, 100%.
Just drink the Void.
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
That's my favorite thing about Baja Blast is it's
invisible. Yeah. Plasmatic has a really great question. Any plans to do a kind of up-to-date game dev? Want to get started? Enter the industry video on EC.
We have talked about it because the last one truly, I think, is like 10 or 11 years old. it's so interesting. We talk about this on breakfast all the time. Obviously the industry is going through a tumultuous time right now. And so we had one sort of started in the hopper, and then it sort of started changing, and not all, like, based on honestly the economics of the game industry is working. We want to make sure that we're like not just giving like moonshot advice that isn't sort of like correct anymore. So there has been talks of that. Yes, it does keep changing because the games industry is changing.
And one of the things that we're also thinking about doing is doing more for specific niches. So, for instance, one of the things that I'm a big proponent of is I think that every game in 2025 needs someone doing community management. Because so many games have Discords and complex social media presences, and they have forums and chats and everything. So neither Jeff nor I is a community manager, and the kind of work that our community manager here, Kat, does is like comms director kind of stuff, and that's not game stuff. So we want to talk to the community manager for a game and talk to them about getting into it. So that's a sort of example of where we can leverage the live format to do more on that specific topic for like community manager or game producer or.
I also want to, like, I think there could be an interesting series even of the animated show or a mixed medium version of the show. I'm just kind of thinking of this now based on what you said, Will. Like, there could be the, like, getting started in the game industry, like, actual, like, designer. There could be something that, and yes, obviously what says here, absolutely. That's like a step zero. But also, like, there could be stuff about like getting started voice acting, getting started in community management, getting started in producing. Like there's a lot of different ways we could, again, I go back to liking buckets, and that it would be a good resource to update the original videos from 10 or 11 years ago, which honestly are amazing, but there's stuff that's happened since then, you know?
Yep.
There was another thing I just saw in the chat. Oh, very important question. Where's the Martinellis? I'll tell you where the Martinellis is. This is a test stream. No one was supposed to be here, so I didn't bring the Martinellis. Something we might stream over here as well is anytime we do a special event. And those of you on Twitch chat and Brad know that every year we do a charity stream for my birthday for the last 7 years. Normally, it is a crowd control affair.
And I have found out, by the way, YouTube does have crowd control support. So
well, there we go. We will be doing a crowd control special guest laden stream with the birthdays, all that jazz. Sometime late April, early May. We have picked the game. It will be. Here's the hints I'll give. It is not a game we've done before.
Correct.
It has crowd control, but it will still be a janky, beautiful mess. And there will be a slight mod to it to make it very easy. We'll let you know when that's happening. Next question. What did Czar ask? Or small idea?
I'm working on that, actually. Hold on.
Oh, like change the icon around the people to show.
Yep, I'm
where
actually
they're from.
trying to do that right now. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
I like it's Super Mario Maker. No, but we have done that in the past. We tried designing a campaign.
You can see the.
Oh, yeah, you can see it. Wait, put it back up. So that was Twitch. Great. And then
little icon.
Let's find YouTube. Crowd control, let's go. Yes. Yeah, great. That's awesome. That's helpful to see too. This is a great system.
By the way, so I don't know how many of you are familiar with the XKCD about like that one thing that's run by one guy who lives alone by himself out in the middle of nowhere in Iowa that the entire internet depends on. For the entire streaming industry, there's one guy named Steve. He lives in Canada, and he runs so many open source projects that it is baffling. He runs he has created the video call protocol that we are using to bring this to you. He's created this chat overlay thing. He's done even more stuff. It's ridiculous. And I just
we have to find Steve or Steve's company's Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Like I want to thank him monetarily for his work.
We believe in Steve. That's right. Yeah. Can confirm, y'all. Okay, this will never get normal for me. J6 says we look great on a smart TV. I will never understand being on people's TVs. For some reason, the
No.
move from like phones and laptops and PCs to like the television that's a big part of your room, that feels weird to me. So thank you. That actually means like a lot more than you might think it does.
And also, your living room does look great. I see you cleaned it up a bit, and it's
Right,
got like
yeah.
you've done a lot of good organizational work. The feng shui is
That's right.
really nice.
I like the furniture and also the flooring and perhaps
the possible pets
the
and or
colors.
other human beings in your vicinity, or not. The lack of is lovely as well.
Right. That's very true.
I was gonna say, going back to YouTube and analytics and stuff like that, it is disturbing. I think it's truly almost up to 50%, if not more. History, it might have actually cracked it watching more on TVs, especially the longer form stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I forget the actual numbers.
Yeah, Pavara, thank you so much for that super chat. So great to see the stream on YouTube. Looks great. Thank you so much for letting us know. We're
Oh, and it shows
yeah, this stuff is great.
What the heck?
Yeah,
Where is this tool, Steve?
I would like to apologize for not having found this sooner.
Anyway, Pavara, thank you so much for that. That's very sweet. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So, let's see. Was there any other stuff?
Wait, I love Jacobs. At the cost of my job, I can get you playing on a 2-story tall video wall.
That's too steep a
Don't
cost.
do that.
Don't.
But I appreciate the mental image you've given me. Yeah. That is very, very funny.
Oh, hold on. I gotta try this. There we go.
And the bits work? And the flippin' bits work?
Yeah. It's platform agnostic. It's great. I love this. This is perfect. You saw there was a test stream. What chaos may you cause? You have caused chaos with your presence. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cordell. Deeply appreciate it.
I mean, do it. It didn't work. Why did it not go?
Oh, I don't know.
There we go. Oh, I know why it didn't go, because I clicked it before I cleared it.
Yeah. You got to clear it first and then click it. Let's see. We should probably also mention, so one of the things that parity, right? We're trying very hard to get to parity between Twitch and YouTube for these things. If you are a supporter of ours on Patreon or Twitch at the $5 a month level, you can get access to our Discord. Yeah, we have a Discord where our patrons and subs can hang out and talk about a little bit of everything. We've got a games we're playing section. We've got a section where we talk about all of the shows and people ask questions and have like follow-on discussions about Games for Breakfast Design Club, all of the animated stuff, everything. If you become a member on YouTube, that is also set up to automatically get you into the Discord
at the $4.99 level. Because again, we're trying to make sure it's parity. Because a Twitch sub is roughly $5. The level on Patreon is $5. We're trying to keep it all the same, because we know that people have different wants and needs on the platforms that they want to engage with content with, and we want to make sure that we're offering roughly the same on everything. And everything does have like a slightly different thing, like supporting us on Nebula is different as well. Like it's just we want to make sure that or Patreon or wherever, we want to make sure that like we are giving everyone what we consider we want to consider a good value, and also an even value across all platforms, even if the individual tiny things are slightly different. But so on the YouTube side of things, because that is sort of the new part we're testing right now, at the $4.99 you get access to the Discord, which is a pretty sweet place to hang out.
Ioro asks, could you tell us what plugin you're using for us nerds in chat? It's called socialstream.ninja. Socialstream.ninja, and it's got plugin. I have barely begun to scratch the surface.
We found, and by we I mean Will, found this 2 hours and 15 minutes ago.
That's correct.
Because we were running into login problems with another thing we were trying to use, and we couldn't figure out a way around it. And then we were actually debating if this test would even happen today, because if we couldn't test, like for instance, one thing we don't have running right now, and we might get running later, Will correct me when I'm wrong, is bots on YouTube. So like you could do command and then see a specific message, or it can let people know things as we go. Right. We have that on Twitch. That's running right now. Bradbot, I believe, is what it's called.
One of them is so on Twitch, because we have scheduled ad breaks. That's one of the things that lets people know, hey, there's an ad break coming up. That kind of thing.
Sort of on that note, we don't have that running for YouTube right now, but that wasn't like a deal breaker for the test today. What would have been a deal breaker would have been if we couldn't
see chat.
Check this chat interaction back and forth.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Similar vibes across the streams, yes. Y'all are ridiculous. Was there anything? Okay, that recording's been running for 35 minutes, so I'm gonna
let's kill that. So do you have to hit the button to make the thing go again? I'm gonna
press the button again. I have to press this button first.
Enjoy this outro intro.
Yeah,
the same one we do every time.
Yeah, right. It's exactly the same, except it's always a little bit different.
It's not. And that's how the show would end if this was a show.
That's correct.
Did that play the music?
Yeah.
Chat, could you hear the music on both sides? I just want to make sure.
They should have been able to. I have it set to monitor and output, and I can hear it.
Okay, because I couldn't hear it, but I know that always doesn't matter. Okay, Grass heard it on Twitch. Everyone on Twitch did. YouTube, yes. B-Dragon says yes on YouTube as well. Thank you so much.
Cool. Great. Awesome. Thank you. That is, her
just double checking. You never know. Like, we could do Ep 1, and then we could be running this for 6 months, and YouTube just doesn't have...
Right, because YouTube doesn't know what to expect.
And they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. And I can, actually, I'm going to do this now too. Log files. Upload current log file in Elise.
I love a log file. I'm going to go through our doc here, Will, make sure we're not forgetting something to test.
You know what I love? When I launch a log file on a new test and it says, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing remotely wrong with anything you're doing. OBS has very powerful log files and an open source log analyzer function. Yeah. So it'll parse the log file out for you and like call out specific errors and problems. And right now it says everything is green across the board. So,
all right. Well, sometimes when good stuff happens, that wasn't the right one, but I'll read it. My mouse cursor went towards the X button on reflex. No, hold on. This is the one. Walpole did it.
He did.
Yeah. That is something I will have to, as the chat moves fast, lining up what you're trying to click.
You can also bottom left corner. If you're trying to grab something specific, you can pause it, and then it'll resume.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Marcos.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Plaz says, just checking. No, yeah, they are exactly the same video. Yes, correct. But the process that gets run on the backside is different, right? So we use that to cover up the scene transition to black in different directions on both sides because it has an alpha channel on both sides. But then what OBS does is different. So we got to make sure that works.
Basically, what we're trying to do is get the pre-show and the post-show cut out automatically as we're doing the show, so Will doesn't have to edit and re-encode the show for uploads to places like Nebula.
Right. It's much faster this way. It used to take 2 to 1 edit to live time at least, but that was also because we never managed to track down a gremlin that I had to squish every week. And now it's Remux, upload, prepare.
I don't know, Zar, do they?
Yeah. So BTTV doesn't. I can work and see if it will. And then the animated ones do. Also on YouTube, as we get more members over there, if that becomes a thing, we do have a whole host of emotes that we'll be adding as soon as slots are available. But because we don't have memberships as like a primary thing on YouTube, currently we can only have like 4, I think. And the next, like when we get like 10 members, I can put like a couple more in and a couple more in. So as soon as, if that happens, great.
We'll be populating the emotes over on the YouTube side of things.
Yeah.
I have a question before we sort of wrap up for the YouTube folks here. Do you folks in Janet, do you often engage with live streams on YouTube, or were you a EC sub that you just saw something was happening that said you shouldn't come and decided to come anyway, or both? Like, what's your use case with live streaming on YouTube? Because real talk, Will and I are novices at that. We've been doing Twitch forever, and we've been and I've been running with Jeff the YouTube side of an actual like uploading episodes of series and things to YouTube channels, but the live part is something that we haven't sort of dove into.
Yeah. Okay. The
sub caught it. Yep. For the right channel, I'm here for both.
I used to watch the VODs. Okay, cool. Great. Awesome. Almost refused to use Twitch as of late. Yep. Cool.
I hate YouTube because unless you're YouTube app, you can't participate in chat, but also because you're on the YouTube app, you get to be as part of this. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Twitch is blocked on company computers, but YouTube isn't. Very good to know.
Interesting. We do broadcast during work hours.
Yep. Emery says, I've been desperate for YouTube content, but due to scheduling, I end up in VODs. Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Oh, interesting. Bavara.
All the other streams are YouTube. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Works better natively.
Yeah, BTTV is a add-on. It's a common add-on. Better Twitch TV. It adds a couple of features. I will go in and configure BTTV for our channel, and I will see if I can get BTTV working in the overlay, and then I will teach Matt how to BTTV, and that will be on my list of things to do.
B-Dragon, let's see. What do you got up here? Donan, I want to hear if story apps are happening, please. Tell you that, please.
Yeah. I think they're talking about the story episodes that we used to do about James, I'm guessing. And James's journey through Design Land. Is that it?
I don't know.
Like
we said before, and you can go back in this VOD when it is a VOD. We are going to be.
Here's the weird thing about Twitch or about YouTube. It is already a VOD.
It can't already be a VOD. We're still live.
No. It is consistently a VOD because if people got here late, they can choose whether to jump in now or start at the beginning, which is one of the cool things about YouTube that I really wish Twitch would do.
Someone give me the replicant test right now. I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, so you haven't read. It might be so you haven't read.
Oh. We actually, our Kevin, writer of So You Haven't Read, is working on a specific short about a specific topic. If there's, okay. How much do I say? I would love it if So You Haven't Read came back. The issue there is, the numbers just didn't support it, like continuing on. But I love that series. I feel like it was such a good primer for anyone who wanted to get into a book, like to know if they liked it or not without spoiling the entire thing or going into review. And just, I don't know, I loved it very much.
Yeah. Cool. I think I am satisfied with all of my technical
okay. Well, we can jump off. So everybody, listen, thank you so much for coming. And even though we instructed you not to, you disobeyed orders but understood the assignment. And I very much appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't be able to test all these things without sort of all of you here.
Czar, I know about that. That's not the same thing. If you double speed the YouTube VOD and catch up, you just join the live stream in progress. The Twitch VOD becomes a video at that moment when you open it, and then you can't watch further than it was when you opened the video. They're not functionally the same.
Yeah.
Wish they were. Yeah.
So with that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say goodbye to YouTube for now. But if you are able, please join us because this test went very, very well. I think we're going to do our first Games for Breakfast Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. Mm-hmm. So in 4 days. 4 days.
11 days.
11 days. Come say hi. Come hang out. We'll be talking about Will already brought up there's some decent news already coming down the pipe.
Oh yeah. There's a video game union.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a really big one. Yeah.
And then right now, if you are still jonesing to hang out with us two nerds, we will be moving over to Twitch solo right now. I'm going to be continuing on my Elden Ring adventure. It's something nice and light, and I just need something to continue on and get it through before Night Rain is done. We're in the Morith Ruins, and we're going to head north to try to find that pesky last map piece. So twitch.tv/extra credits if you'd like to join us over there. Otherwise, we hope to see you here on YouTube Monday morning.
Yeah. Cool.
Very much appreciate the time and the test, and I don't know, this means a lot. So thank you very much for coming and hanging out.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Bye, YouTube.